Where are the Free Palestine protesters? Where did they go? I can't find them anywhere. And I've looked. Google it. See the last time you saw Free Palestine protesters, students or otherwise, in the United States, out on the streets making noise. They have vanished. Why? I, I really want to know why. And there are three reasons that all add up to this question. They all contribute. The first place, a draft constitution was released by the Palestinian Authority last weekend, very quietly. Few people noticed. There's a lot going on in the world, and we're going to get to Iran. But in the first place, this draft constitution said that a government, a future government, set up by the Palestinian Authority that proposed to cover Gaza, even whether they want to or not, whether Palestinians and people living in Gaza want to or not, the Palestinian Authority is saying that this is going to cover them too. Based on Sharia law, based on theology, a theocracy like Iran, and you see what's happening in Iran. And again, I'm going to get to that. But in Gaza, in the Palestinian Authority, they are proposing to have Sharia law guide all civic legal matters. Additionally, in Article 3, which is entitled Jerusalem, Religious Nature, Historical Identity, Clause 2 in that article eliminates the Jewish connection to Jerusalem. And it says, in quotation marks, and I'll put a link in this so you can go read. Anybody can go read the draft constitution. Quote, the state is committed to preserving its religious character and protecting its Islamic and Christian sanctities, as well as its legal, political, and historical status. End quote. There is nothing about the Jewish people, who already operate, quote, courts and a legal system based on democracy. So there's no recognition of Jewish rights or the Jewish people at all in this Constitution. Why? If you're one of the protesters that supports this, you don't support Jews having a state at all alongside. You're proposing what Hamas is, which is to eliminate all Jews from the Middle East or the planet for that matter. Even if that was your stance, which would be horrific, it's impossible. It's not realistic. The horrific part is the most important. Point number 2, Iran. Oh, by the way, in that state draft constitution, it says that the Palestinians are part of the Arab nation. Part of the Arab nation. That means part of the Iranians who are running a theocratic government there. Now, where are the protesters on the Iranian protesters? Excuse me, they're risking their lives. Just the last day, in a ceremony that was supposed to honor the people who were slaughtered there 40 days ago, the government cracked down on it. The government wouldn't even allow the people that had lost these people to murder from the regime to honor their dead. Meanwhile, Iranian protesters, and to this president's credit, has said he's going to have their back, and that's why you see a military buildup all around Iran. That's an open question that will probably be answered soon. But why are the protesters that were on campuses and this and that not supporting the Iranians, the brave Iranians who are standing up to murderous dictators that have been controlling their country for decades? Where's the moral support for the people risking their lives on the streets with no power? I don't understand. I want to understand. I want someone to tell me, I'm not being sarcastic, why there are no protesters. All those protesters who were worried about the Palestinians, and we're getting to number 3 because those Palestinians are not living freely. Forget Israel. It's not Israel. It's Hamas, which is still, so we're at number 3. Hamas has not left. They have not laid down all their arms. The Israelis, in conjunction with some American support, are trying to do that. But what happened to the ceasefire where they were going to lay down their arms? The protesters who want Palestinians to have a better life, and I'm a Jewish American who would like the Palestinians to have better lives. I've written it again and again. But not, it's not going to happen under a terrorist regime that was elected 18 years ago and hasn't allowed an election since. If you're a Palestinian and you speak out, even speak out about not wanting to be under the rule, under the thumb of Hamas, your life is at risk, and many, many have been killed. Where are the protesters on behalf of the Gazans that are still, they're under Hamas rule? If you're sincere about wanting Palestinians to have independence and run their own state freely, and allowed to have rights for women, rights for gays, equal rights, civil rights like in America. If you don't want that to be stifled, you will want to get rid of Hamas, and you will not want to sign off on this draft constitution from the Palestinian Authority, because it's running on Sharia law. You can read it. It will be right below this video. You can read every word. And I'm open to hearing answers. The other thing, before I close here, is that this video is going out. I'm the editor of Judicious, so I know our audience demographic pretty well. This is going out mostly to folks between the ages of 40 and 90, 35 and 90. Not as many people in their 20s. And so if this resonates with any of our readers, in this case, viewers today, I hope you'll pass it on to young people who want better lives for Palestinians and want rights. Do you know young people that are open-minded to the facts, that can listen and then agree or disagree? They may agree with some and disagree with the other. Obviously, I'd like 100% because I think that this is just logical. What a lot of people would answer my question with is the following. Well, of course, it's not about freedom for Palestinians. They were always protesting out of anti-Semitism and against the Jewish state. Maybe. I don't think that's true of all young people or whatever age people that were protesting on behalf of the Palestinians. I think there are plenty of them that didn't want Hamas to be the tool to get this done, and they just didn't want to see a war going on. Guess what? Neither did Israelis, neither did Jews. They want to be left alone. And they provide courts that aren't run on Sharia law or Jewish law. You know, it's funny, just one more thing, a footnote, but it matters. The United States is said to have been founded on Judeo-Christian values. Judeo-Christian values. Some people take issue with that, but if you go back in history, it's basically true. And one of the most important parts of that is rights, the rights of man. Now, America got it terribly wrong in the vein of slavery, and it took way too long, more than 100 years, nearly 100 years passed since the Revolutionary War to even have a civil war and free the slaves. But the point is that the colonists breaking away from England, they didn't want to be under the church, and they didn't want to be under a king. That was the whole point. And by the way, that's why the French and other countries helped America. They could see that this was one of the only places that you could really get true freedom at that time, 200-300 years ago. So when this draft constitution says that it's standing up for Christians and Muslims, basically, but not Jews, the math isn't even right historically. If you want to have actual equal society and free rights, you can't be run by a dictatorial regime, whether it's the Iranian regime or whether it's Hamas or whether it's the PA, enforcing Sharia law, religion, on every decision in your life. This may all come around, actually, because the American president has a decision to make with this buildup in the region. If he does strike Iran and really try to take out that regime, it could actually change history. And there are a lot of people cheering for him to do that. This is one of those decisions that's very difficult for a president. I don't care how easy they make it look, going to war, especially when your borders aren't under attack. In any event, That's what I wanted to say today. I'd like to know where the protesters are. I'd like to know why they're not outraged at these three other things that threaten innocent people, that the protesters have said they care about over these last 2 years, or 2 years minus a few months when they have vanished. Thank you for listening.